Hi guys, welcome back. I'm once again returned. Don't know if you can already tell, but I am in uni once again, back in Liverpool. Excuse the face and the hair. Also had to close the window because obviously it's quite loud outside, but I'm sweating buckets here, so if you see sweat patches, say nothing. What I wanted to do today is over the past couple of weeks I've had a few packages come, obviously for like freshers and everything, even though COVID still is in full force. But also my voice sounds a bit weird. There's so much I have to talk about. I have a few parcels that kind of close and stuff like that, so I thought I'd do a wee haul. But I also just wanted to talk about life, so I just thought I'd video myself getting ready. Well, actually it's 1:30 in the afternoon. I was out last night and I'm a little bit hungover, so I just thought I'd be quite relaxed, have fun. First of all, I need to clean my eyes because they really keep getting... Do you ever get when like that eyelash glue sticks to your eyelids and then like your eyelashes too, so then you wake up and it's like proper... I don't even know what it looks like. I'm trying to get it off, but I really don't think it's budging today, so I might have to work with it. Basically, yeah, I moved back over to Liverpool. It must have been about 3 weeks now, I think. And I'm loving it. It's still allowed to go out and stuff, just in groups of 6. So me and some of my friends went out last night. We were meant to go to Coolies, but then we got shouted at. We were talking to the girls behind us, because obviously you're only allowed 6 people in. So we went in 2 groups of 4 and then 3. And the man heard us talking to the girl behind, one of my other friends' flatmates, and he didn't let us in. He probably shouted at us. Yeah, I just feel like now it's at the point where the rules, like, I don't even understand the rules. It's literally like you're allowed 30 people at a funeral, but you're only allowed 15 at a wedding. What do you mean? I don't really know what I've been up to. I've been going out quite a lot. I'm not going to lie about it. I feel like I'm on this new lease of life and my voice is really taking a toll. Basically, it's been about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. My last vlog, obviously I was in Croatia, and I just felt like I haven't vlogged in a while. I kind of feel like I lost my mojo a wee bit. Not even what to say. I don't even have a mojo yet. Like, I have lost my makeup brush. I don't know where it's disappeared to. We'll just use this one anyway. I always get so sidetracked. I just talk about one thing, then talk about another, and then everything just gets so complicated. But kind of felt like a bit confused on what I wanted to post for like the YouTube videos, and especially with my Instagram and everything too. Like, obviously at the start of lockdown I was in full force ready for the YouTube, and I had like all this confidence and everything, and I was just like, obviously because I hadn't seen anybody in like how long, so I was just in my own wee bubble, and I was just kind of like, yes, like I'm gonna do it or whatever. And I still completely have that mindset. Like, I love doing the YouTube videos and everything, but I just didn't know really what I wanted to post, because I felt like I wanted to post things that people would find interesting, but then I wanted to make sure that I was still like being myself. I just kind of got a bit sidetracked in life, but I'm back on the road again. I'm very happy to be back in Liverpool, even though the restrictions are a bit of a bummer. But like, is anybody actually listening to them anymore? I know that's really bad to say. I'm not allowed to say that. I've been really into Joe Rogan recently, and as y'all know already, I love philosophy. I was gonna say, I don't even know if it is philosophy. Like, what do you call that word? Psychology. I love like knowing about yourself and the way the brain works. And he had a podcast not too long ago with Miley Cyrus, just talking literally about life. I don't know if it's just the pandemic that has kind of made people realise like who's in your life for what reasons. And oh, did I have food in my teeth all the time? Before this all happened, I just would have stressed over things in life that are like so not worth it. And I already said in like a video before about like mental health, and I completely understand people that have not suffered with mental health at all. Like, not everybody does, and like, for fuck's sake if you haven't, because it's kind of shit sometimes. And like, I can only speak for myself, but what I'm aware of my mental health, sometimes I will get really anxious, and that's what I think happened over the past couple of weeks, coming back into like Liverpool, seeing everybody again. And everybody's been so nice and so supportive, but it's just kind of like the people you surround yourself with are going to either make you or break you, and this is kind of like the true fact of life. But basically what it is about when you want to do something. Say I said today I wanted to go or today I decided that, do you know what, I'm gonna do music. I absolutely love music and I want to be a opera singer, I don't know. Well, first of all, if you know that you're good, that is the main key. So if people have told you, oh, a good singer, like you're brilliant or whatever, you have to believe in yourself. It's actually your perception of yourself develops your growth and how you look at yourself. I think there's a very fine line between confidence and arrogance, and people sometimes get offended by confidence, but that's because they actually don't have confidence in themselves, and then they kind of stop and think like, oh, she loves herself, or he loves himself, or he's so confident or cocky or whatever. But it's different when, not that it's true, but you have the right principles and morals for it. And before lockdown, I just was thinking about always the next thing, the next place I'm going, what I'm doing, and always wondering where I wanted to be with other people, instead of thinking about actually myself and thinking, do I really enjoy doing that, or do I just go because people around me are going to it, or people around me are doing it or saying it or whatever. You kind of have to take yourself into perspective as much as anything else. And basically what Joe Rogan was saying was, especially where I'm from, in a small town, obviously in like Lurgan, if you've ever heard of small town mentality, like that is such a thing. And like I obviously didn't realise it until I moved away from uni to realise. When I first moved here last year, I actually thought like I was right, and like everybody else me was just so weird that they did other things that I did, or like I was the only way I had been taught from the people around me, my family, my teachers. That's the way you kind of have your views on life. So then once you get completely out of that perspective, you're just like, holy shit, like this is kind of fun. it's actually putting yourself out there to get that different perspective. And if you're not happy with something in your life, or you keep thinking like, oh, why are things going so bad for me, like, I knew that was going to happen or whatever, well then don't be focusing on the negative. And it's so much easier said than done. But if you're not going to do things that are going to help yourself, then you have to take kind of self-responsibility. And basically that's kind of either way with, like, if you go out on a Saturday night and your mum won't let you go out unless you text her or ring her, but then on a Monday morning you would ring your mum, or you would tell your mum to book a doctor's appointment for you because you don't want to ring the doctors. Like, it works both ways, and you have to take self-responsibility in both aspects. At the same time, I feel like there's such this stigma. Oh, I'm literally sitting out my window and people can definitely see me just sitting talking to myself at a camera. Sorry, I had to take a break there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I feel like there's such a big stigma around, especially in smaller towns, what everybody else is doing, and everybody's so worried about the other people. But a lot of people don't like to see others doing better, and that's especially what I think when we look at like famous people, or people that are actually happy living their lives and they're doing what they want, and then you kind of look like she got that easy or he got that easy or whatever, but you don't see all the groundwork that's put in behind it. You just look at it from your perspective. It seems unrealistic to us, especially when we've been told for so long, like, people around you always will teach you something whether you like it or not. The people you surround yourself with are going to influence you in negative and positive ways. And that's why I feel like, especially for like people that are teachers or people that are lawyers, you always say like, oh, I hope she grows up to be a lawyer, I hope he grows up to be a teacher, or something that is a good career and obviously is enjoyable and you have a good pension. But also you have to really want to do it. Like, are you going in to be a teaching job just because you like the holidays, or are you going in because you're passionate about helping children believe in themselves and setting them up for life in the most possible ways? Basically, in the podcast with Miley Cyrus and Joe Rogan, they were talking about, they feel like we kind of sugarcoat life almost in a way for children when they're so young. We, like, a boy falls and we'll say big boys don't cry, or little boys don't, and then that completely shuts off their emotion from the very start, get-go. So then the older they get, they're thinking big boys don't cry or whatever, and then when they get older and they're not aware of how to deal with these emotions, and that's probably why they go out and don't treat girls with the same respect. And it's the same for girls and boys as well. Girls kind of get this confidence, but then it sometimes can turn into arrogance, like, no, this is a certain way I look. But it doesn't matter about how you look, it's how you treat people and how you feel, how you lift each other's kind of up, if that makes sense. A lot of people can be misjudged on the way they carry themselves, but that's only because they've probably been surrounded by people that have told them nothing otherwise. Especially, I think, for like teachers, the amount of people that you hear saying, especially very successful people as well, because they are the ones that had the drive from other people telling them what they can't do, and they decided to take their own self-responsibility and think, well, actually, yeah, maybe I can do this. And basically, I think that's what has changed mostly out of this year, is my mindset towards life. And before, I feel like I kind of would have let other people control my emotions, and that would have meant if I walked into a room and my brother was sitting there and he was in a bad mood. I thought he was in a bad mood at me, so then I made myself in a bad mood because I was worried that I had set him. And oh, my camera's flashing. Oh god. Right, I might need to charge this beer. Okay, I'm back. Kinda had to stop my rant halfway through. Well, it's not really a rant, but you know what I mean. What I was just saying about is like, just I feel like we really tell children like not to cry when they fall and hurt themselves and say like stuff like that, and then they don't really know how to process them feelings once they get older. And that is why I think a lot of people are misunderstood, because you don't think of it as a bigger perspective. And I catch myself doing it all the time, because it's just the way you kind of know yourself to be. You kind of just look at somebody, and if you've seen them and they're walking up the street and they didn't look that clean or whatever, you would think, oh, why does she not wash herself? But you don't know where they've came from or what they've done. And it's kind of just like looking around, and I can see people that want to be having children now and getting married. I'm obviously only 20, coming 21, but I know that that's not for me. But sometimes you have to realize that that's for other people, and it doesn't matter if I feel like we attract the same people that have the same interests, and then when we look at other people that have different interests, we're like, why do they like that? They don't like it, so I don't like them. And a lot of people aren't like that. It's just sometimes in general. And then meet new people and stuff like that, because they're just focused on what they enjoy and are not really open to learning about other people. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily agree with what they're doing. Well, it's different if they're like stealing cars or something. That's obviously not very well. I wouldn't be going around stealing cars or anything. With different interests, as long as people are there for you, and it's just like your morals and respect, like loyalty to people and being there for people when they feel a bit low, because everybody has shit days. Everybody has like fucking days where you just cry over your burnt toast, and it's like, it's okay to have them days, but it's whether the people around you are trying to lift you up and have the best intentions for you, or if they kind of feed off your energy. And I know for a lot of people it's always they're giving and giving and giving, and then they're not getting the same back, so then it wears out their energy and they're not protecting your energy. Whereas on the other hand, there's people that will take all your energy out of you. You have to be kind of smart of who you're giving it to and what your intentions are, if that makes sense. There's always going to be people that say stuff about you, whether it's negative or positive. People always have opinions, and unless that person means something to you, their opinion is irrelevant unless you look up to that person or they have the evidence to prove that it's kind of worthy, if that makes sense. So a lot of the time we listen to the people around us. That comes with teachers when we're first growing up. Your parents are your first probably role models. That's how you see love, and then the relationship of love, I think, as well, and your grandparents and all your peers around you. That's how you kind of get influenced on life. So if people don't have your best interest at hand, then it can be quite confusing on how you surround yourself with them people. So if you're say struggling a bit with your weight at the minute, if you're surrounded by people that eat takeaways every night, like that, they don't have the same mindset and the same goals as you, and that's okay if they don't, but are they supporting you in the right way to help you achieve your goals? Because really, today, Junior, realistically, why would you not want to better yourself every single day? I know obviously some days are better than others, and every day is a different type of effort that is your best. Some days you can wake up and your best will literally be getting out of bed if it comes to it. Sometimes you might love people and you might have really good relationships. Is this in focus? Yeah. Might have really good relationships with people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're helping your growth and they know your worth. And a lot of people either don't know their worth and let other people treat them with disrespect, or others think they kind of maybe know their worth too much. And especially with like Instagram and everything these days, like Molly-Mae, she's so beautiful. She shows on her YouTube that on her Instagram she will edit photos, because that's the thing on Instagram, it's so about the looks rather than anything else. And I know myself, when I post a photo of myself compared to a quote, the likes are like ratio here to here, because people really don't care about what I have to say, I don't think, on Instagram, unless there's a half naked photo beside it. And I honestly, maybe that's a bit like judgmental or whatever, but I think like that is a lot of the kind of mindset of people on it, and that's why I feel like girls like her get so much hate. But she's open about it and she knows that that's making her successful, and everybody has their own opinion of it, whether they like it or not. I've still got off on this track. I actually don't know why I've talked about 40 different subjects at one time. Or if you're still here, fair play to you, because holy shit. if you want to get somewhere, you have to think of where you are now and how can you get there. And it's not about the end result, it's about like kind of the path along the way that you have to not take for granted. Because if you're always thinking about that destination, you mightn't even get there if you're always thinking about the end result, because you'll get frustrated that you haven't got there yet if you're not patient. There's so many more factors to it, and I feel like that's the worst thing about it, is people don't stick with their dreams because of consistency, and consistency is literally key. I feel like there's so much stigma and judgment, especially about alcohol and drugs. It's kind of like a controversial topic to talk about, but this is what Miley Cyrus and Joe Rogan, and especially Kevin Hart too, he has done a couple podcasts, and I think they're just so relevant to life. Because basically as teenagers, when we come to the age of about 15, 16 till your early 20s, like that is kind of the prime time of your life, and you do things, you experiment, you meet people, and sometimes it's always not in the best decisions because you're only growing up. You can't, like, we don't know the rules of life until you make mistakes and you literally learn from. A lot of parents in these days it's a whole new generation, literally. Technology, like the change over the past 20 years alone is so crazy to think about what the next 20 years are going to be. And obviously for the generation before us, which would be like our mums and dads, they obviously don't have the same views, because back then you had to get a career, you had to get a job, and it was kind of just you grow up, you get married, you get work. Who says that you have to do that? And if sometimes I feel like even parents can be in that one minded, because they only want the best for their children, but maybe they're not thinking about the same life experiences that will make you truly happy. I've seen that somebody said, I think it was on TikTok or something, about you should never work for money, you should work for happiness and love. And when you work for what you love, you will literally never work a day in your life. And that's the thing, sometimes it will get hard and like you feel like you don't want to do it, but you'll never get up because you have the passion and the drive to do it. It's just about believing in yourself more than anything. But when it comes to the drugs and alcohol aspect of that, I feel like it's so controversial, where there's like half of your friends at the minute that are sitting probably getting drunk 5 out of 7 nights a week in uni, or maybe at the house, the work, and then just go on the drink straight away. But then there's other people completely following their dreams, maybe haven't had a drink in 12 months, I don't know, a year, 12 months, a year, haven't had a drink in so long because they're really focused on their future or where they want to be, or else they're really focused on nothing but having a good time. And I think the key out of all of life's joys and just life in general is moderation. And basically that's what comes with drug abuse and anything in that kind of relation. Like I feel like we have such a bad conception of weed. Weed is literally illegal in most places, but that's because what we've been taught about weed from other people's perspectives. But now that there's new technology coming on and everything, it helps children with seizures, it helps people with cancer. It's grown literally from the ground, but it's just our judgment from other people that we've heard that's why we think it isn't right. It should never be used, and if you smoke weed then you're a bad person. And I feel like that is such a misconception. Not saying that anybody wants to smoke weed or they want to do drugs in general, but it's when you get to this age of like 15, 16, you do experiment. And I feel like a lot of parents, when they come to a certain age, probably like there is drugs. I don't personally agree with them, I've never taken them or whatever like this, but also say if you ever find yourself in that kind of situation, like I would always want you to come to me. And that's why I feel the amount of people I've heard that, especially with like drinking, don't want to tell their mum and dad because they would get kicked out of the house or they would get in trouble. And I know, like, especially when it's abused, alcohol and drugs, it's both really not kind, and it really takes a toll on other people and their mental health, and then it affects others, and like it literally is like the butterfly effect. But it is moderation, and if you're a young adult and you want to try these things, like your mum and dad or like people about have probably tried them too, but we should be educated on them in the right way, learn how to take them if you want to be safe about it. And God forbid if anything ever went wrong, you know that your mum and dad or whoever that takes care of you are there for you. They mightn't be happy about it, but they'll always be there for you. And that's what I think is the most scary thing, the amount of young children that'll take drugs, then go out to a concert and then maybe bad reaction, anything, and then they don't even ring their mum or dad because they're so scared of them finding out, because they know they would be in trouble. Whereas you would think they could literally be on their deathbed, but they have the fear of the concept that it's not allowed, so it's not allowed to be spoken about, it's not allowed to be talked about. And it like you are curious at this age and you want to experiment. There's just such a misjudgment with, say, people that want to do work but then they also feel like they can't go out and have a good time because they're not devoting all their time to their future. Or else the people that just feel like they're in their 20s, want to have, or teens, want to have a good time and they can think about success later. I think it is just literally in moderation. And my flash is going again. But basically that's kind of what I just wanted to talk about. It was so long and rambly. I'm gonna let my camera charge for a bit and then probably go into town and see the girls. So I'll bring my camera with me and then probably do a wee haul when I come back. I just feel like that should have been like kind of talked about more, and I kind of like talking about stuff like that. Like I love the fashion and I love obviously beauty and clothes and makeup and stuff, but I also feel like there's so much more to be talked about in life. I'm a flashing. See you soon. Probably see you in the, well, I'll see you in the next clip. But okay, so it's a little bit later now. What time is it actually? It's 3:30 now. Camera's been charging for a while, which is good, but I'm gonna go get a Pret with Molly. Basically there's this thing for students and you get up to free, whoa, that wasn't in focus, was it? You get up to 5 free Prets a day for a month, and then apparently it's £20 a month, but we're still on our free month anyway. So yesterday I went and got a Pret before 10 o'clock. First time I've been up before, no actually, it's definitely a lie, it was like 11, but yesterday was the first time I've been up before 11 in probably about a month. Went and got myself a wee Pret, walked around Liverpool City by myself, earphones in. It was amazing. Really is a bit of self-therapy, is that what you say? Bit of therapy? Don't know. But anyway, off we go. Who's here? Yeah. Right, wait. See this? Bada! How beautiful is that? Oh, I've got a wee basil plant here. It's a bit fucked, but zoom in on it. Yeah, boys. Forgot about it. Not even gonna lie, it's about 5 days later if you're watching this right now. I recorded the other day when I was getting ready, probably about 3 days ago now, and I was obviously gonna record, you know, my wee haul and everything, but then my period came, and then once the period comes everything just goes out the window. I am not really that, actually maybe I do, I don't think I complain that much, but when it comes to my period I will just eat chocolate and complain the first probably 3 to 5 working days. So I think I'm going to put this video into 2 different clips rather than I was going to do the whole video from the other day all in one, but I think it's all going to be too long, and I feel like a lot of people would rather see shorter videos rather than long ones. So if you prefer longer videos or shorter videos, just let me know in the comments, or I don't know, hit me up on my DMs, whatever you feel like. I'm here always.